revitalized the classic. This is a new 3D version of Nintendo's Donkey Kong.
By 1994, Donkey Kong was a dormant IP that had no major platformers or starring roles since the arcade days where Nintendo released Donkey Kong 3 to poor reception. Lucky for us, the company was looking to change that. Exactly 4 years after the release of the Super Nintendo, Donkey Kong Country was given to the public, and it managed to push the gaming industry towards a new direction. But before we talk about its future, let's talk about its past. Before Donkey Kong Country was released, the franchise was stagnant. Nintendo was in luck though, as a company they had done business with previously, Rare, the developers responsible for the successful Battletoads series on the NES, had recently invested in several Silicon Graphics workstations. These were the same high-end machines that movie studios used for special effects, giving Rare advanced 3D graphics capabilities that were unprecedented for game development at the time. Rare had an idea to create a demo boxing game called Brute Force using their new SGI technology, and when Nintendo saw it, they were so impressed that they bought a 25% stake in the UK-based company and gave them access to the Donkey Kong license. The timing of this was very important though, as Nintendo was entrenched in a console war with Sega at the time, who had just released Aladdin to critical acclaim. Nintendo needed a response to this, and they eventually set their sights upon Rare. In Chicago, at the 1994 Summer Consumer Electronics Show, Nintendo had a surprise for everyone. As their finale at their conference, Nintendo revealed their newest installment of the Donkey Kong franchise, and as everyone stared at the footage before them, they all thought they were getting a glimpse at what the Nintendo 64 was about to bring. But to all of their surprise, the biggest reveal of all dropped right then and there. This game that they were seeing would be released on the Super Nintendo instead, leaving the crowd in stunned silence before erupting into applause and cheers. Now if you are new to my channel, welcome, but if you have been around, you'll know I recently completed a blind Let's Play of this game, and with my blind play came many pleasant surprises. I had always heard that the game was really good, but I did not expect it to exceed my expectations by such a large margin. It's so hard to streamline my thoughts on why I feel that this game is as good as I do, because there are just so many reasons for it. But first and foremost of all those reasons is the variety of levels within the game. There are 40 levels total, and not once did the designs feel stale. The developers expertly spaced out similar level types, so you'll get a few traditional platforming stages before hitting a minecart sequence or water level. Each section of the world map feels genuinely unique while maintaining its thematic identity. Not just that, but the mechanics are incredibly fun while still being challenging. Tires that extend your jumps, the barrel cannons that launch you across huge gaps, or requiring a leap of faith that the game won't troll you, rideable animals that essentially make you invincible and give you that crucial third hit, the stop and go levels where you have to hit a barrel to freeze enemies on a timer, the levels that toy with your visibility as the lights turn off and on, the minecarts, the swimming sections, all of it. The game has no shortage of creative ways to traverse each level. And the weight of the characters, the way their physical build affects their movement, it's just so good. It really reminds me of Super Mario Bros. 2's character differences with Peach's floating and Luigi's jumps. But let's talk about this difficulty, because while the game is endlessly creative and fun, it will also test your patience in ways that you really don't expect. Who wants a game to be easy though? The fun of video games is the challenge, and boy does this one have plenty of it. The devs at Rare were not afraid to punish you for being a first-time player, as there were multiple times I died to a hidden enemy or obstacle that sent me back to the checkpoint to go through sections I had spent so much time getting through before. The developers weren't just creating challenging levels, they were actively trying to humble overconfident players like me, and it always made me want to just come back and beat it to show it who's boss. And even if you aren't a new player to the game, God forbid you forget about one little enemy in just the right spot that catches you off guard and takes away your last life, so now you have to play the last 2 or 3 levels that gave you enough trouble as it is. One thing about this game though, is that once you've played through a level enough, you are able to get its patterns down, which I wouldn't say is a downside to the game, just rather a reflection of the era's limitations, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. The game has its formula, and it does it well. When I sat down to write this script, I tried to find flaws to criticize it with. I realized that I was fishing for criticisms longer than I should have been, and understood quickly that this game just doesn't have much, if anything, to truly fault it with at all. It's nearly flawless, a true masterpiece that deserves such a status. I find myself struggling to think of any more praise or glaze that I can bestow upon this game. It is a staple of gaming history, platformer history, and Nintendo history. It deserves every ounce of respect for what it achieved, and so does Rare. All in all, I give this game a well-deserved 5 out of 5 controllers. It is damn near perfect.